This is the fall of 2021. We got married way back when I was 24, and you was just 1 year past 22. And we still don't have any kids. A love child to call our own. But we got a 16-year-old love. We met way back in the fall of 05 when we were just kids. I was 19 and you was 18 when I first laid eyes on your pretty self in that classroom at school. It's crazy how I can still remember how I just couldn't stop looking at you. You call it staring, but I call it anxiously watching a flower flourishing in full bloom. My imagination had me seeing my whole future right in front of me. At that time, I didn't know I wanted to marry you, but I knew that I wanted to know you. So now we've gotten some time to know each other. But what's so crazy about being in a relationship is that you have to always be willing to evolve with the person, or you get stuck in your own ways and in each other's way if you don't let love change you like it's supposed to. We got used to each other, but neither of us is the same person that we used to. Because since way back then, we've both gone through a lot of evolution. Trying to figure out who we are, we've been staying in the same home while still trying to give each other room. You say being a wife has taken a toll on your own life. I make you feel like you can't always be yourself. And I believe that even though I'm your husband, sometimes you don't like who I am and you want to change me. You be trying to groom me and be the groom. But let me tell you something, girl. I don't care about who is right or wrong. Before I ever fall out of love with you, leaves fall, but ever since I fell in love with you almost 20 years ago back in the fall, I promised God I would never leave you. So if you feel like things are falling apart, then baby girl, I'll put down my pride and I'll change for you. Because God said that pride comes before the fall. And I'll choose to lose my haughty mentality, fall at my knees and surrender to love before I ever try and stand tall, act like I don't care, and walk out on you. And I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of times I be feeling like you be doing some things that hurt me too. But I'm not Adam, so I'm not even trying to point the Eve out in you. We both been sitting here listening to the devil's lies, eating of his fruit. But I'm the man in this relationship, and God keep telling me not to. He said that no matter what goes wrong, I'm accountable. So I just keep sitting here asking myself, how do I always get back to this place where I want to try and place some of this blame on you? As men and women, I guess that's just what we always naturally prone to do. Whenever you're not happy, you want to point out the other person for being the problem, instead of just focusing on all of the flaws inside of you. But like I said, my focus is on loving you, not loving myself. Because even though I've accomplished a lot focusing on myself is the only thing that has always caused distance between me and you. I'm not talking about just staying in the same house when I say that I want to be close to you. And I'm not talking about sex whenever I say that I want to be inside of you. Of course, there will always be some hardships, some things that we need to address. Oh, and by the way, you looking too beautiful in that dress. I've always loved looking at you. But right now, this is more than sensual and emotional. This battle is psychological and spiritual. So I got my eyes on myself. I'm sitting here psychoanalyzing myself, trying to understand how I can better suit you. I'm the man. I wear the suit. That means that I gotta get tailor-made so that God can fit me inside of you. Look, I know some things got broken. You feel broken, I feel broken. But just know that God was only breaking me down so that he could set us up for new ground. This is only confirmation of a new foundation. He's just doing some remodeling so that he can remold me into you. Because we supposed to be one. And I know they say that it's two sides to every story. But instead of fighting about who's wrong or right, I just want to be right for you. It's been 16 years and I've never cheated, not even once. And I haven't cursed since back when I was still in high school. God taught me that my words carry power. So ever since we were those two kids, I've never even so much as cursed at you. But at times you still feel like my words are hurting you. And you make me feel like being with me is a curse for you. But I get it. You say that our relationship sometimes still feel cursed. And to be honest, I can't do nothing but agree with you. But you still gotta understand that pain is only a precursor for progress. And our love has always been precursed by both of our own selfishness. And ever since I married you, the devil ain't never wanted to see me with you. So he cursed us. He been trying to break this up before it ever even got started. You got deep-seated trust issues planted in you from the roots because your dad was never there for you to care for you. And I got emotional abandonment issues because my parents were always there, but they were never quite there. They were never together, but they did the best they could to work together and meet my physical needs. They were trying the best that they knew how to be parents that were suitable. But they were both so young and lonely, trying to figure out their own lives. While I was growing up, they had me as teenagers, so while they was raising me, I was watching them grow up too. And this curse is generational. So I could go even deeper back into their roots. But this is about me and you. And sometimes I know I don't always cater to your emotions like I'm supposed to. And I can't blame my parents for what they didn't do, because they just didn't know how to. When I didn't get the attention that I needed from them, I found it in other outlets. And the older I get, I'm realizing how all of my personal experiences has made my life more emotionally difficult for you. Your own daddy left you. He made you feel pushed away. So you always push me away when love gets scary and hard, cause you can't trust. And my mommy and daddy didn't always give me the one-on-one time, the attention that I needed them to. So I always pull at you to build me up, to help me believe in things that I'm called to do in ways only God can help me to. I cling to you, block other people out, and put all of my emotional weight on you. Try to confide in you, find my confidence in you. And you didn't understand when I told you that God said that he was calling me to open up that box, spread out that circle, learn to confide in other people so that I don't place all of that burden on you, because I can't expect you to do what only he can do. You thought I was saying that other people come before you, but nobody comes before you. It's just that God's been calling me to do some things in ministry, and I'm still trying to learn how to. I ain't got no real war strategy, but all I know is that deep down in my heart, I want to be one of the ones out here trying to save souls from evil. But before I go out into the world and cover anybody else, you better believe that I'm at home trying to cover you. Because God covers me, and I'm supposed to cover you. Jesus taught me that part of the war strategy back in 1 Corinthians 11:2. Girl, I'm in love with you. I would die for you. But sometimes I just feel like you only be looking out for you. I be letting the devil tell me that you don't love me too. Why am I always so emotionally desperate, needing to feel wanted and loved when I'm supposed to be finding that in God? Even hearing myself say it out loud still sounds pitiful. We got hard hearts throwing stones at each other because neither one of us just want to tell the truth and be vulnerable. But I'm sincerely sorry for every time I was struggling with my own insecurities and I haven't secured you like I was supposed to. Sometimes my own insecurities got me feeling like I gotta guard myself from you, cause you be attacking my pride. But Jesus said, Satan, get behind me, to one of his most loved disciples, because he could always see what the devil was trying to do. The devil was trying to put you against me and me against you. And he used our own insecurities, all of this pushing and pulling, to have us fighting like those same little kids that we never quite outgrew. And so what I'm saying is that whenever you hurt me, I'm learning that it's not you. The devil knows our insecurities and weaknesses, so he got us battling, selfish in our own passions. And so sometimes he got me guarding myself, fighting with you instead of for you. And that is never what a husband is supposed to do. When the devil try to bring war on us, our relationship, I'm supposed to be the one covering you. But these wounds that he gave me are so deep that sometimes I run to cover myself and I emotionally abandoned you. And so I'm sorry for every time I ever got so low that I raised my voice at you. And I'm sorry for all of the times I was hurting too much from what you did or said to me, and I went silent and just shut down on you. I guess whenever you turn your pride up too loud, and I feel like you're not respecting me as a man, we going through our mess, yelling back at you, I feel like that's the only way to get my message through. You aiming at my pride, acting like I ain't really out here trying to be a man of God. I'm trying to tell you how to live your life like Christ. You feel like I want to be in control of you. But I'm just trying to be a leader. I'm just trying to lead you. And I ain't never have nobody to teach me how to do this. I'm just trying to keep us pointed towards God. And I would never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do. Right now, I'm not even asking you to change. Because I'm learning that as a man, that's what I'm supposed to do. God said that in war, that the general rule is that the general always passes down the orders until it gets to the private. These curses are generational. And I could keep all of these issues in private, but God told me that's not how He wants me to move. Because He told me that everything that we go through isn't just for me and you. There are other relationships in this world that the devil is attacking too. There's some other men out here who need to learn this lesson too. This lesson that when love feels like a battle, we have to be the first ones to get on the front line and die to ourselves. Because until a woman truly sees that you're willing to die first, then she will never follow you. And so I take full accountability for every single time that we saw each other as enemies. Because I know your trust issues. I know how vulnerable you are. So I don't know why I let the enemy trick me into putting my guard up against you instead of covering you like God called me to do. It's just that when life gets so hard on me, sometimes it's just so hard for me to be as gentle as I'm supposed to be with you. And yeah, you hurt me, but God told me that I hurt Him all of the time. But He still humbled Himself and took that pain for me. And He said that I'm going to have to do the same for you. So everything that we go through, every time you attack my pride, God told me that He trying to humble me. He was never ever even trying to get to you. He speaks to the lieutenant first. I'm the leader. And since I'm calling myself that, I already know what I got to do. He told me that if you follow me like you're supposed to, then that woman will begin to see the changes that she needs to see in order to feel comfortable enough to hide herself under you. So even though sometimes I want to make this about you, this has everything to do with what I need to do. I went and told God you was wrong, and then He told me that I was right about some things, but then He still took up for you. He pointed out all of the sin in me. He told me why He died on the cross. He said that I was wrong, but then He still turned around and died even though He should have never even had to. He said that He changed for me. He humbled Himself even though He is God. He let Himself be transformed into a man in order to cover all of the wrong in me. Many men think that being a man means calling the shots or being willing to take them shots for you. But this is so much deeper than just me taking a couple bullets. If I say I love you, then it might kill me, but I gotta die to myself for you. I gotta be willing to let go of my selfishness. It's an emotional gun. So I gotta put down my pride for you if what I'm doing is killing you. So what I'm telling you is that if we only fight because both of us wanna have our own way, then I'm gonna let go of myself and let God have His way before I ever be the reason why we split in two. Because ever since I fell in love back in the fall of 2005, all I've ever wanted to do is spend the rest of my life with you. God chose me, then I chose you. You said at first you didn't even like me. The fact that we've been married for almost 12 years, well, girl, I guess I showed you. I told you that I was gonna prove myself to you way back then. Baby, ain't nothing changed. I know some things went wrong, but I'm still the right man for you. And I would be a fool to ever lose you. So even though sometimes we get lost in our own selfishness, I'd rather lose my pride than to ever be the fool who had to tell the foolish story about how he lost you. You was with me before I ever even had $1 to my name. All I had was spare time, no spare change. God spared me. When he gave me you, my whole life changed. That's why I want to give you everything. I know that over the years we've been through some pain and some things have changed, but I tear every dollar in half because all the money in this world could never be worth more than being with you. I still love you like when we first kissed when I was 19 and you was 18. I know we a little over 1.5 years apart, 603 days to be exact. But until that day I die, I never want to spend another day apart from you. So I would never ask you to change anything about yourself. If anything, you were born in April spring, which is the start of the blossoming of everything. And I already know that you've been taken through the weather with all of the seasons that we've been through. But Shantae, I don't care whatever season we're in right now. I'll always be willing to change for you.